everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Naima and welcome back to my channel, or two if you are new. And today we are going over all the books that I read in October. In October, this is probably my worst reading month ever, like ever. I don't think I've read less than, let's say, like 9 books since I've started booktube, and it's really weird for me, but honestly I don't really care because I love the books that I read, and I love that I was even able to read because my schedule has been incredibly hectic. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about them. I found some new favorites, some fun ones I feel like you guys would really enjoy, so I'm here to relay the message. So without further ado, let's get right into my October wrap up. So the very first book that I read in October was Hothouse Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So this is the second book in the Calloway Sisters series, and I really enjoyed this one. Not as much as I did Kiss the Sky. Kiss the Sky is a new favorite. Like, that book just like, and I was really excited to get to Daisy and Reich's book. Didn't love it as much as I anticipated, although it was still really good. I did end up giving it 5 stars. I don't know, I was expecting so much more fireworks, so much more tears, and there were tears and there were fireworks, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. Just to say, it was still really good and I loved it. But overall, this book was, I'm not gonna go into what it was about. Obviously it follows Reich and Daisy, but if you haven't read the other books in the series and the Addicted Sisters series, then you'll probably be like really confused. So all I'm gonna say is that this book was really satisfying. It felt so good to read. I had like a big relief off my chest after I read it, because I was kind of anxious about this specific relationship. I felt everything so intensely while reading this book. I felt rage, I felt happiness, like just to the 10th degree, and it was so satisfying, so amazing. I can't really give much more than that away. If you have not read this series, then I really recommend it. It is so good. It is quickly becoming one of my favorite series ever. So the next book that I read in October was Ivan by Sophie Lark, and I ended up really enjoying this book. I've been dying to go back and read Ivan. I read like the first 2 books in the Brutal Birthright series, and then I went straight into Kingmakers, so I've been like backtracking and going backwards. Ivan is the very first book in the Underworld series, and I loved it so much. I love a good captive captor romance, and that's exactly what this was. But not only that, it was a captor-captive romance where the captive was just incredibly strong and strong-willed. The heroine was incredibly strong, which I love to see. I mean, I love a good captor-captive, but it gets really annoying and boring and dull when the captive is super naive and innocent and scared of her own shadow. Like, this girl was very strong. This book follows this hit woman named Sloane, and Sloane is kind of like an independent hit woman. She has like kind of like someone who gives her assignments and jobs, and then she goes and kills the person. And so she gets assigned a job to kill Ivan, and she sneaks in there. Things don't go as planned, and now Ivan has captured Sloane. It's really good. The chemistry was like off the charts, off the pages, like it was insane, and I just really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 5 stars, as always with Sophie Lark. I love her books, and yeah, this one was a really fun time. Super steamy. Just like I said, the chemistry. The only thing is that I wish that it were longer. That's all I really wanted, was it for it to be longer, and it felt like things were flying by. But other than that, I loved it, and I never wanted it to end. So the next book that I read was Gothichana, and I was trying to find my physical book of it, and I realized that I just gave it to my friend to borrow, so I'm gonna put up a picture. But yes, Gothichana, a new favorite, 5 stars, amazing. I feel like I've talked about it. I have talked about it in my last 2 most recent videos, so I'm just gonna give you guys a quick brief description of this book. This book follows Corvina or Corvina or Corvina. I think it's Corvina or Corvina. I'm not really sure the pronunciation. Corvina, she has not had a traditional childhood. She lives in like this small town with her mom. The town always gossiped about her and her mom. They both have purple eyes. Corvina was homeschooled. They see them out in the woods a lot, and there was just like this rumor that they were witches. Super weird and spooky and strange. So Corvina did not have a lot of friends. She was homeschooled, and on top of that, she did not have a traditional relationship with her mom. Her mom was a weird individual. school at the time. She would never speak to Ksęrzyna, but Ksęrzyna felt love, and she felt loved and taken care of by her mom. So it wasn't anything like neglect. She was really well taken care of. Ksęrzyna gets a letter from this university, and it's inviting her to basically join in. She didn't apply there, but she gets this letter, and she was looking for a sign for a fresh start. So she decides, you know what, I'm gonna go. As soon as she gets there, she just feels the energy is off, and Ksęrzyna is someone who can read energies really well. She's someone who can basically, her intuition is really good, so she just felt the vibes immediately that this place was not it. So this is a gothic romance. It's super spooky. The university takes place in a castle on a mountain next to like this huge expanse of woods, and it is just simply so beautiful. I loved the main characters so much. Ksęrzyna, she is like this really spiritual being. She reads tarot, she uses her crystals and incense, and it was just so much fun to read about because I consider myself to be spiritual. So I've never read a book with a main character like that, and I think it was just like so fun. So yeah, this one was really great. Super gothic, super weird. I truly think the fall in October is the perfect time to read it. A teacher-student romance. I should mention that Ksęrzyna is 21, so hopefully that eases some of your minds with the teacher-student dynamic. Really stunning, such a like amazing book. I never wanted to put it down. 5 stars, definitely a favorite of the entire year. I just thought it was just beautiful, like so good. The next book that I read was There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, and I was sent an ARC of this book, and so I read it and I simply fell in love. This is everything that I love in a romance, so this just like fed me so incredibly well. This is a little bit of a psychopath stalker romance between 2 artists, Mara and Cole. Cole is very much a well-known artist, the San Francisco area. Everybody knows who he is. He is also a class A sociopath. He doesn't feel things. No one really knows this about him. Obviously, he like emulates feelings super well. Cole also has this rival named Alistair, and Alistair is another big, well-known, rich artist in the San Francisco area, and in every sense of the word, they are rivals, complete rivals. And on top of that, they're both psychopaths and killers. They like to kill people to inspire art, to add pieces of their body to the artwork, to, I don't know, I really don't understand why they like to kill people, but I'm not complaining because honestly, it was a fun time. So then we have our heroine, Mara, and Mara, she is a struggling artist on the opposite ends of the spectrum. We have a rich artist and then a struggling one. Mara has 3 jobs. She lives in this house with like a bunch of other artists, and they all pay rent. She has tons of roommates, and yeah, Mara just loves to create. She has not had the easiest childhood. Her mental health was a big struggle for her. It still is, and that's one of the reasons why I love this book so much. Mental health was a really big topic in here, and I just felt really seen while reading this book. I've never related to a character like I've related to Mara. Like wow, like this was a lot, and it was so good, and I loved it so much. Yeah, basically in the San Francisco area, you have like these art shows or whatever. Artists in the area, they come and like showcase their art or whatever, and so Cole notices Mara. Nothing really like goes forward from there, but he does notice her, and Alistair, Cole's rival, notices Cole noticing Mara. And so basically, in a sick and twisted thing that Alistair and Cole have going on, Alistair wanted to see Cole lose some control, so he basically takes Mara off the streets, like literally kidnaps her, ties her up, does horrible things to her, and leaves her for Cole to see. And I struggled a lot with this book. I struggled a lot because I was not 100% with the Cole in the beginning, and yeah, that changed very fast though. I will say that changed so incredibly fast. But yeah, it was really amazing. I can't really give too much away because I don't want to give any spoilers. Just know that this is a stalker romance. It's super creepy and so beautiful. The way Sophie Lark, I'm telling you guys, if you have not read her, please do. But the way of which she just has this way of like just describing everything and making you feel like you're really a part of the world, and just feeling so like just like you are there. Like I love that about her writing. This was great. This was so aesthetically pleasing. It's perfect to read in October as well. Super creepy. We have artists, we have psychopaths, we have San Francisco. It's just stunning. So read this if you haven't already. I loved it so incredibly much. I kind of read this twice this month because I read it originally on my phone, and then when the book was sent to me, I went back and read it and annotated it. So yeah, I love this book. I'm so excited for part 2 of the duet to come out. It comes out in December, and I am like anxiously waiting for it. I'm shaking, get my hands on it. So, and the last book that I read in October was Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. I have read Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, so I really wanted to read Shallow River, and Shallow River was incredibly intense. There are so many triggers in this book. Almost every trigger in the book I feel like would be in this book. Really fast, I'm just gonna read it out for you. There's trigger warnings for incest, sexual assault, drug abuse, domestic violence, and those are some of them. There are a lot more, so I recommend that if you have triggers, look into this book because it was a lot. I found this book to be extremely addicting. I never wanted to put it down. I spent one night just like laying in bed reading it all. This book was incredibly intense. So this book follows our main character, River, and River is a girl in college, and she meets who she thinks is going to be the love of her life, Ryan. In the beginning of the relationship, everything was incredibly perfect. She loved Ryan, Ryan loved her. Things took a turn for the worse. Ryan became super toxic and super abusive and just horrible. Many of the things that Ryan did like put knots in my stomach. Like I literally could not stomach some of the things that he did. It was horrendous and disgusting. I couldn't stomach it. So when Ryan introduces River to his family, she meets his mom and dad. Then she also meets his brother that she did not even know existed, and that is Mako. And Ryan basically do not have a relationship at all. Like it's horrible, the relationship. They can't stand each other, they hate each other. And Mako knows like how depraved Ryan can be and how horrible Ryan can be. So he instantly wants to help River. He has helped Ryan's ex-girlfriend in the past, and he's like, I need to just go and help her. And so he does in his own way. He doesn't want to like push her to do anything because like he just knows that that's not going to work in this situation. He lets River make the decision on his own, but also Mako has fallen in love with River because they have a little bit of a past. River does not remember. I was really worried that the relationship between Mako and River wouldn't be believable just because there was so much of Ryan and River's relationship and the abuse. And so I don't know how, but H.D. Carlton made it work. It was really stunning, super hard to read, but I thought it was amazing, and there was just so much good content in here and I loved it. This one is incredibly dark though, like incredibly dark, so be aware. This is not a really pleasant read. It is really hard to stomach, so much violence, and yeah, but I really did enjoy it, that being said. And I rated this one 4 stars. So those are all the books that I ended up reading in October. Even though I only read 5, I still loved my reading month so much. I don't think I've read anything less than a 4-star this month, so that's super fun and amazing, and I have new books to recommend. Yeah, let me know some books that you guys read in October. I would love to hear about them and add some to my TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!
If I got one thing right, it was you and